Alright, been a minute since I made a video, but we're going to go ahead and show an alternator upgrade that I just completed here. This was a stock alternator out of the Scion. You can see the part number there. This is technically a 100 amp unit that's been upgraded by me to a 160 amp unit. So first thing I noticed when the alternator died initially, so I pulled it out of the car just to see if the brushes themselves worn out. Being in the Scion, these transmissions have some pretty high gear ratios, so you know, they definitely rev, and I figured the brushes would be worn out from this thing just seeing high RPMs its whole life. So I look in the back, and I notice on this genuine OEM Denso rectifier plate that 3 of the positive diodes in the top there, this is the positive side of the plate, the bottom is the negative side of the plate. You can see that 3 diodes are missing. And I started noticing that on the negative side of the plate, there's also 3 diodes missing. So literally, this plate only has 6 total diodes. I believe they're 50 amp. I can't really see underneath the coating that these are dipped in. I'm not sure exactly why they put them in the coating. Maybe it's a heat, you know, dissipates heat better or something. But anyway, it's coated black. It's not burned up or anything like that. It didn't let the smoke out of it. You can see where I had cut the previous wires from the stator. This is the original stator, but I've got another another unit that's in there. Same stator, same size. The stators are all the same on these. However, the rotor. Hold on, let me grab the rotor real quick here. The rotors are different. So to get 160 amps, you can see the size of the windings inside this rotor. I should have probably made a video before I put this thing together and showed the size of the windings inside the lower ohm rotor that's inside of it now. But apparently that provides a stronger magnetic field. This becomes basically a magnet when you put power to these brushes, and that excites the stator. AC current comes out of each of these legs. It's actually 3-phase, you know, and it's basically 2 3-phase alternators. It's not really a 6-phase. It's technically 2 3-phase alternator, all these hairpin units. So anyway, so you get the AC current comes out of here, then it goes into your rectifier plate with the diodes that basically transforms that back to, or turns it into DC power, the way we can use it so we can charge our batteries and run our equipment. So what I ended up doing was sourcing a small pulley for it. We also painted the case red. All the parts on it were removed before I actually put paint on the case, so it's all done really nice. All the hardware is removed. There's no overspray on the, you know, windings on the inside of the rotor or anything like that. The bearings are all pressed out and all that. So on this particular rectifier plate that I had laying around actually on another new alternator, the output stud, this is actually originally for a Dodge. This is a factory OEM Mopar alternator from a Dodge, but this output stud was turned and pulled. It was pushed outwards toward the back of the case, hanging out of the back like this, right? So I unbolted that. The plate itself was able to have it reattach in the same position as the factory alternator. You can see there's the voltage regulator that actually resides behind this case here. So you got the voltage regulator that's in there, new rectifier. Notice on that rectifier plate it has 6 diodes on the positive plate there. It also has 6 diodes on the negative plate underneath. So that and the rotor is what makes the difference between a 100 amp factory alternator. Look at how small that output stud is too. Fucking peepee little stud. Just a tiny little guy. Look at that thing. Totally different. This is a copper stud too. It's just tin plated. So upgraded the stud to something larger. New rectifier plate. New brushes. New rotor. So the unit here is, this is all nice and smooth, the commutator that the brush is right on. This one's got 140,000 miles, and it actually doesn't look too bad considering. Lots of rev limiter abuse on this one. But anyway, there's a video. I'll post a link in the description for those that know how to check that anyway. And we'll post a link on how you can reconfigure these super easy. It actually literally only took me, well, I don't know, maybe a couple of hours total between paint, swapping over the rectifier, pulling the case apart, pressing the bearings out, pressing all the little shit out too, just so it, you know, comes out professional, like a true professional job. It's not just a hack and slash job. It actually looks pretty fucking good, considering. So anyway, those of you that are interested in converting your alternators over, if you want to do a good job, I highly recommend, if you have old hairpin alternators laying around, hold on to them. You can reuse this wire and actually reconfigure the new stators with wire from an old stator exactly the same size, and you get a true high quality build. I recommend to use high temperature solder, and God, other than that, I mean, really this is pretty easy. The video shows you exactly how to do this. I'm not going to get into any details on that, it's already been done, but super easy, literally a couple hours. Pennies in copper, and some parts, you know, from another alternator that I just happened to have laying around that a customer didn't have installed, brand new. So I figured I'd use the parts off that, and it was a genuine unit, and well, you know, shit, it ended up working out, recoup my money. So, bam, put that in the TC tomorrow, see how she does.